You're listening to Spicy by Cutie Pie, a bite-sized podcast by me, Crissy, bisexual and proud, here in Vancouver. This is an independently produced show. If you're new to me, all my episodes are bite-sized, meaning you never have to download an episode. Scrolling on Facebook, when this popped up on my feed, it was basically Diary of a CEO. The episode was the one called The Gottman Doctors. Women tend to be more unhappily married. And it's funny because there in the trailer was one of the Gottman saying 90% of non-cuddlers have an awful sex life. And yes, these are psychologists and researchers, and they're happily married to each other, and they've published books. In fact, I'm a big fan of their work. I have their books. I subscribe to their email newsletter. And honestly, I can say that you don't need scientific studies to prove that non-cuddlers have an awful sex life, because these are probably the kind of people that don't bother with foreplay. Think about it. Cuddling is an activity that you can do before, during, after sex, and if you are with someone who is not into that, not into physical touch, not into quality time, then you probably don't have a great connection with them, because the physical and emotional element is missing. And I love hugs, like I'm a big fan of the Free Hugs campaign. And so, yeah, I know it not only feels good to give and get a cuddle, but there's so many health benefits. I mean, cuddling is a prelude, in my opinion, to prolonged snuggling, which is honestly like cuddling more intensely. You can be on a couch, on a bed, out in public. It leads to kissing. So let me read to you an excerpt from WebMD about the health benefits of cuddling, and I'll link this in the comments/show notes so that you can refer to it yourself and read it when you want. One of the best benefits is easing stress. So when you cuddle with someone you care about, your body releases a hormone called oxytocin that calms you and makes you more likely to deal better with stress, which, it lowers your blood pressure and lowers the stress hormone cortisol. Another benefit is it helps your heart. Scientists say that it's clear that women get this benefit from cuddling, but it seems to be true for both sexes. Cuddling relieves pain. A good cuddle may give you more than just moral support after an injury. The oxytocin it releases can help block pain signals, and it works so well that doctors are trying to figure out how to treat people with a lab-made form of it, which is amazing. Another benefit is it helps you fight colds. Hugs from people you trust may protect you against this common virus, especially if you're under a lot of stress. And if you're already sick, more cuddling might keep your symptoms from getting worse. It connects you to your partner. Oxytocin is sometimes called the love hormone. You often have more of it in your blood if you hug your partner a lot. Couples who cuddle and kiss freely tend to be happier, healthier, and less stressed. Also, it helps you sleep. Oxytocin is the magic ingredient again, probably because of its calming effects. But some people wake up often if they fall asleep in a cuddling or spooning position, and that's okay. You can get a lot out of it in the 10 minutes or so before you go to sleep at night. And here are my suggestions for if you really want to cuddle but don't have anyone handy. Like, let's say you're traveling and maybe you're away from your family and your partner. You can go to a shelter, volunteer for a day, give some pets and hugs to dogs and cats or bunnies or whatever that's in the shelter. You can also ask your family friend's favorite person to give you virtual cuddles until you can get real cuddles in real life. And have an emotional support plushie. And I know kids do this openly, but honestly, I'm an advocate of being an adult and having like a cute plushie that you bring with you on travels. Every once in a while, I take photos of me reading books, having coffee, and having a small companion, which I lovingly refer to as my emotional support plushie. And I like to make up stories about them. Like, for example, this is French Fries' first day at this park. And actually, one of the meetups that I first joined in the spring, I brought a Palm Pal, which is a small plushie that sits in the palm of your hand, to the event, and took photos of that plushie joining us on the picnic mat, having a good time sunbathing with friends, being in the new place, watching the lake, and just having fun. And it's just that narrative around it. I find it's very creative. It made a lot of people smile and laugh at the event, and they thought it was cute. And honestly, it's not that I care so much what they think. It's more like I like doing this. I think it's fun. But yeah, there's a bonus side effect of people thinking, oh, that's a cute quirk that you have. And yeah, so if you don't have a plushie, you can always get one at any souvenir shop or bookstore or some kind of place where, even at a dollar store, it doesn't have to be an expensive plushie. And no one has to know. You can go back to your hotel room, or on the train, if you're taking public transit, you can just put it in your bag and yeah, just spend some time cuddling it with your hands. But honestly, if you can get like a full-size plushie, those are the best. Like, teddy bears are my favorite. I've been to many meetup events too, or board game and card game events that I've hosted or attended here in Vancouver locally, and people bring a small toy that they like to have on the table when they're playing games or meeting new people. And I find that, yeah, in retrospect, it was a lot of the anxious people, because obviously, for some people that don't have anxiety, social anxiety, it's not hard to meet people at events. But especially for people who may be extremely shy, having that moral support there from the plushie is just wonderful. Thanks for sharing your time with me. Until then, I will talk to you soon.